Hello, scrapbooking cards today, friends. The summer issue is filled with gorgeous projects, and I noticed a little trend here. There were quite a few that I found that had sun rays, and I found one from Paige, I found one from Marcia, this one is from Gloria, and then I found one at the end by Sandra, and it inspired me to create my own sun ray project. I just loved the projects that they created with them, and I wanted to create a really summery project. So I have a traveler's notebook spread here. You can see that I already punched my holes. I have two pages. They're going to be outside of the pocket, so they're sized at 5 by 8.5 inches tall. And all I did was flip them over and attach them with washi tape. Now, what I have here is the Simple Stories Boho Sunshine collection, and it is filled with beautiful products, but I specifically want to limit myself to a few: the 6 by 8 paper pad, the foam stickers, enamel dots, some die cuts. I love that stencil, but I think I'm going to put that aside for later. I also have the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So I'm going to show you how you can create a really simple and easy sunburst page without measuring, without using a protractor. It can be really simple. And I have a cute photo of my son to document today. Okay, let's get started. When I'm making a sunburst design, I typically choose patterns that are more tone on tone, nothing too contrasty because it gets to be a bit much if you have some really crazy wild patterns all next to each other. And in this case, I'm also wanting some more solid patterns because I'm using that white background. So I'm keeping that plain white background. I'm going to add the sunburst to that. And so I want colors that'll really pop against that white background. To start out on this sunray design, I want you to get a circle cutter of some kind, whether it's a punch or a die. So I just used a die here, a standard circle die, and I'm going to put my sun in, my sun as in the photo, and my sun, like the yellow orb, down in that bottom right corner. So all my rays will be coming out from there. Now I'm starting with the smiley face first, and this is going to be an easy cut. It's going to be in this first corner. Now first I cut it the easiest way, which is straight on the right side, but I didn't really like that. I didn't want to have that all the way up against the edge, so all I did was just trimmed a little bit of an angle off. With your paper trimmer you can cut angles, especially with this 8-inch long paper. Now you can do the same thing with your longer paper too. You might just have to pull out your X-Acto knife or make multiple cuts. It's according to what kind of trimmer you're using as well. So all you need to do is kind of lay out your paper on your layout background or your notebook background. Lay out the rays that you have there, and then figure out what kind of angle you want for your next ray. Now, it makes it easier if you grab a ruler and you kind of sketch that out beforehand. You don't need to have everything exact, because the greatest thing is that these are very forgiving. If you want, you can trim off little areas. They're also forgiving in that they're usually coming out from something, so you can hide some of it with the thing that you're radiating from. In this case, it's the photo of my son. Now the first couple of rays I didn't use my pencil, but the next ones I really want to get that angle the same as the ones before on this left side, so I'm just using a pencil and marking the rays. Now, if you have really long rays, you might have to do this in two different segments. And I've done that before on a 12 by 12 layout. And it is a bit trickier, but it's completely doable. You just have to cut the same angles and then extend one out further than the other. For the last ray, I'm going to use this lighter blue with the multicolor posies in it because I like the idea of tying all the colors together in one of the papers, but it still has that undertone of that solid blue there, so it's not too distracting from the photo. but I already love the way this is going together. Now, I really like when I have one of the rays goes in the corner because then you can use the corner of the paper. So it's kind of a cheat sheet. You just put your put your paper in the corner of the background and then draw your rays out from there. See how easy that is? Look, I have 5 pretty awesome rays that quickly. Super simple. And then I'm going to kind of get them, like move them around to where I want them to be. I'm going to move the sunshine where I want it to be, and then adhere things with temporary tape until I'm absolutely sure that everything is where I want it to be. Now I did decide to do one more ray because that bottom looked a little bit sad. It looked a little bit empty. And so I'm going to do a nice fat pink one down here. It's this kind of blush color. And I'm just going to follow along my pencil marks there to add that last little ray. And I think that was a great addition. It just adds something to the bottom underneath my photo, almost to hold the weight of my photo up. It gives it like a little shelf. So I'm going to get that one in place. I pretty much like where this is going. So some of my rays have already been stuck down with temporary adhesive, but we're going to go permanent here. We're going to just do it all. We're going to go for it. So I'm going to adhere these down, and then I'll trim off the excess on those first 2 rays. I got some adhesive down here on the bottom of my sun, and I want to share this product that I love with you. It's the iCraft Adhesive Remover. This is the extra large size, and it's like an eraser for adhesive. I love it. Gets it off without any smudges or any issues at all. So with my page the way it is right now, I put it on my scanner and scanned it in so that I could get the angles of the rays down, and then I put that image of the scan into Photoshop to add my journaling to it and then ran it through my printer. I really love doing this with my smaller format projects so that I have typed journaling really easily. Now I'm just going to pop this photo up. I don't pop up a ton of things in my traveler's notebook spreads, but photos are almost always a must. I also want to put a title down here underneath my photo, and the foam stickers are just a little bit too thick for me on top of the photo, so I'm going to add a sticker from the sticker sheet that says Hello Sunshine, and I also want to add that cute little Mr. Sun as well, just trying to figure out what the best placement of him is, especially because he has those his little rays that come out too that can add a little bit of texture. I think it would be really nice to add him in. I'm just seeing if there's another sun that is a little bit different that I could fussy cut, but I don't want to have that red background from that 6x8 paper. So I'm going to go ahead and add my title. I like that it's black so it sticks out a little bit. It's small, but I think it totally works. It doesn't need to be large. I'm also going to look at the die cut pack. These are the floral bits, and there's lots of butterflies, there are little mushrooms, smiley faces. It's just a really happy little set of die cuts. And what I'm doing here is what I like to do when I have a layout that has lots of color on it is kind of color block my embellishments to make it less overwhelming. And so the yellow flower I'm putting on, the yellow ray, the pink flower, pink butterfly I'm putting on the pink ray there. I really do like this added element though of this little bunting. It's flowers and little dots. And what that does is it helps move your eye to my sun in the photo. It like goes directly to the photo, but it breaks up the harsh lines of those rays. So it does the same thing as the rays, but it adds a little bit of texture, adds a bit of interest, and it breaks up those harsh lines. So just adding a few little elements here and there, nothing too overwhelming for this page because it is only one photo and it's small format, right? So I don't want to add too many large things. And I'm going to go for the little sun here because it works so well with my photo, so we're going to go for it. The one thing I am going to do is just use my powder tool to de-stick the rays on the right side so that they don't stick to the background, because the rest of him is popped up, but I don't really want to put little strips of adhesive underneath his rays. So I'm going to use my powder tool from EK Success to de-stick those a little bit. Just adding a few more stickers and die cuts here and there. I had to add the little snail because of course I'm talking about my boy here, so the whole snips and snails and puppy dog tails sort of thing. It reminded me of that, and I like the way that he's looking toward the title. But you know, these elements are so fun to add, just so fun. And I love that little "You Are Golden" there that I put under the title. The phrase here says "Love You So," and that kind of fits along with my journaling. But really, such a fun little traveler's notebook spread. There's not really much else you can add besides a few enamel dots that I'm going to color block as well. So those are going to go next to the same color of Ray that I'm adding the enamel dot to. But I love this collection. It makes me super happy, and I love this layout. The only thing I have to do is, since both sides are attached now with the pattern paper rays, is I'm going to remove the washi, grab my cutting mat, and use my X-Acto knife to cut those two sides apart. And then I can grab my Life Crafted album. This is from Citrus Twist Kits, and I'm going to make sure those holes are punched because I did cover a few of those holes with pattern paper. And I'm going to stick that on my album. And doesn't that look so cute? Well, the summer issue sure does have a lot of inspiration in it, and the first thing that I saw were these layouts with the sun rays, and I hope you guys like my take on the sun ray. Like I showed you, it doesn't need any special tools. You can just use your paper trimmer and hide some mistakes really easily with a photo with some embellishments, and your angles don't have to be perfect all the way around. I hope you guys enjoyed this traveler's notebook spread, and it inspires you to create something of your own this week. Thanks so much for joining me, and be sure to subscribe to Scrapbook and Cards Today for more inspiration.